Hello everybody and welcome to my Torchlight Let's Play video. This is episode 1. What I'm going to be doing here is making a series of videos on Torchlight 1, playing through, just playing through normally. The reason for doing it is Torchlight 2 is coming out soon. It's been given a release date of September 20 and it's currently 5th of September, so it gives me a little bit over 2 weeks to get into the swing of things into Torchlight, getting ready for the release of Torchlight 2. I've already pre-purchased it on Steam. I've already pre-purchased Torchlight 2. I did end up buying a 4-pack and I've shared it with a couple of mates. I do have one left, however. I will be looking to try and get rid of that. If anyone's interested, feel free to send me a message on YouTube. It's $15. It would normally cost you $20 to buy on Steam. And you will also get a copy of Torchlight 1, which is what we're playing here. So without further ado, I'm going to start a brand new character. The guy that you see here is one that I've played a number of hours on already. I wanted to start a new character from scratch, and I'm going to be using the Destroyer character. So let's have a quick look at the classes in Torchlight. There's 3. You've got your Destroyer, which he excels at melee combat. Your Vanquisher, the female character in Torchlight, is an expert marksman, so she's a ranged character, as you can see by the bow. And your Alchemist, who channels the power of Ember, so he's a magical character, tends to do more ranged damage, but also summons minions, so he summons other things to fight for him. I really enjoyed playing through as the Alchemist. Tended to dual wield pistols, and summon lots of golems and skeletons and things to fight for me. But we're going to be playing the Destroyer. He's a bit of a meat-axe, and every character can have a pet. So we've got a dog or a cat. I think this guy's more of a dog person, and I don't think he's very ingenious with his name, so he's going to have a dog called Dog. Alright, so off we go, and we're going to play it through on normal. I kind of want this to be a little bit more action based. So something a little bit more interesting to watch, and instead of I could have played it through on a harder difficulty just for a bit more of a challenge, but I'd rather be killing things, instead of a video of you guys watching me die. It's probably not quite as exciting. I'm going to quickly run through a little bit of the user interface and NPCs and how things work in Torchlight. I jumped the gun a little bit there. You saw there that character had an exclamation mark above his head, meant he had a quest to give me. So I've left clicked on him, and it's come up with this speech dialogue, which is telling me what the quest is. It also gives you an outline of how much gold, experience and fame that you earn, and any rewards that finishing that quest will give you. So let's just go ahead and accept that, and we'll have a look at the interface while we're here. You can zoom in and out with the scroll wheel, which is nice. You can do that on the fly, and there's different levels of zooming. Up on the right there's a map which you can zoom in and out. We'll just leave it as it is for the moment. We have the pet info up on the top left. Here you can change his stance, whether it be aggressive, meaning he'll go off and attack enemies on sight. By default it's set to a defensive stance, which just means he'll only attack enemies that attack you, so he won't go running off chasing after things. And the passive stance just means he'll follow you around and not attack anything, whether you're being attacked or not. So I'm going to leave it at the default defensive stance. Down the bottom here we have a hotbar. There's quite a bit of information in the hotbar. It gives you some little shortcuts to screens that you can bring up, so you can bring up your inventory, your character screen, your skills, journal, your pet sheet, your quests, auto map, and your options, so for changing music on and off and things like that. Have another look at the auto map. If I press A on my keyboard, it brings up a full screen version of the map, which you can zoom in and out as well using the square brackets. If I press it again, it turns it off, so it's not up on the top right, and it's not on the screen at all. If I press it again, it comes back to being in the top right. So it cycles through those 3 states: off completely, up on the top right, or full screen. So we'll just leave it up on the top right. I'm just going to zoom it out a smidge. The hotbar, you've got here 1, all the way through to 0, split over onto the two sides. You can assign little shortcuts to various things here. So initially it's set up with a health potion and a mana potion for 1 and 2. On the other end of the scale, we've got an identify scroll and a town portal scroll on 9 and 0. And number 3 has been assigned my slash attack, which is a class skill that I've started off with my destroyer character. As I level up, I'm not going to show you right now, but as I level up you can learn more skills, and we'll look at assigning more skills as we learn them. The other things to look at, alts will toggle names on the screen, which we're going to look at once there are some things to actually name on the screen. You can pause the game. This is showing you this skills that have been assigned to the mouse. So the left mouse button does an attack, so it's just an attack with the weapon, and the right mouse button is that slash attack skill. So that's doing a skill that will attack all the foes in front of me with the equipped weapon. There's a tab here, an alternate skill, which we'll explain a little bit later once I've learnt some more skills. Okay, so again, some more info on the interface. You see here with Vasman, I've already accepted his quest, so his the Lycon has now turned into a question mark. So that just means that I've got an incomplete quest with this guy. And if I speak to him again, he's just going to remind me about what that quest is. Okay, so I have one in progress with him already. The guys with the speech bubble just means they have something to say to me. It doesn't mean they have a quest or anything important, it's just they have something to say. And you can see it disappears once they've actually said what they need to say. I'm not going to dwell too much on reading these things. You're more than welcome to pause the video when you see them come up. But the idea here is to actually play through. This first intro is not going to be a heck of a lot of playing, is just a bit of explanation as to how the game works. I'm going to get into that first level shortly. But yeah, I would highly recommend you, if you enjoy what you see here, go and purchase the game on Steam. It's nice and cheap at the moment, just because Torchlight 2 is coming out. I would actually recommend that you purchase Torchlight 2 if you can, and believe there is a bundle that you will get a copy of this game, Torchlight 1, when you purchase Torchlight 2. So it's a pretty good deal, pretty good value. This guy here, he's a merchant. You see he's got money bags above his head. That's just the indicator for a merchant. So when you click on him, it opens up your inventory screen as well as the items that he has in his store to purchase. I don't need anything right now, so we'll come back to that, and I'll explain that a little bit later when I've got more stuff to sell. And there are 2 chests on the screen in the town as well. This first one here is the stash, which you can place items in your inventory into the stash here, and it's bound to this character. Things that you might want to store in there might be gems, socketable gems that you find along the way, or maybe some unidentified items if you don't have any scrolls, or maybe items that you don't quite meet the level requirements to wear. Up the top here there's a shared stash, and you'll see that there are a few items in here already. This is from previous playthroughs. I've stashed a few things away that I think might be useful for other characters. Now, I can't use any of them just yet because most of them require a higher level character to use, so we'll leave that for the time being, and we're just going to move off to the left here because this is where we're going to carry on with the main story. A few little beasties to kill. So once we get past this little bit,
Brink, over here. I can't hold them back much longer.
Syl here is going to... Brink and Syl are going to tell us a little bit about the story, what's going on. Again, by all means, pause these speech bubbles as they come past. Read them. I would highly recommend purchasing the game though, because it is a lot of fun, and you can take your time and actually go through the story yourself. Now, how you use your character and how you interact with the environment and NPCs, weapons on the ground, or loot on the ground, enemies as well. It's all left click. So the little hand, if I left click on the ground, my character's going to move to that spot. If I left click on Syl, I'm going to speak with her. Left click on the OK. If there was an enemy, which I will show you shortly, left clicking will use the left click assigned skill. So at the moment, that's assigned to just the attack, the weapon attack. Okay, so here's some enemies down here. So left clicking is just attacking with my equipped sword. If I right click, I'm going to do that that slash skill that we've got learnt. And you saw there the mana was low. So that weapon skill, the class skill, uses mana. So let's have a quick look at that again. It costs 6 mana to use, and I have 20. So I could cast it 3 times, and I will have used up all of my mana. So let's have a look. Done, done. Now I can't do it again because I have to wait for my mana to get up to 6 before I can use it again. So that's it. It's pretty standard action RPG. You point and click to kill things, point and click to pick things up. There is a fairly large focus on loot in this game. And you will find that a lot of loot will drop from just standard weapons, standard enemies, as well as out of chests and secret secret stashes and stuff like that. I'm gonna have a quick look at the inventory here. Now you noticed I've just picked up a couple of items. The first one was a pistol, and that's auto-assigned it to an empty weapon slot, which is kind of nice. So if I pick up an item that I can equip, and I don't have an item equipped in that slot, it will automatically assign the weapon or the armor piece to that slot. Now I'm actually going to switch this out because I want to keep my number 1 weapon slot to melee weapons, and number 2 I want to actually put some ranged weapons in there. So you can switch your assigned weapons with the W on your keyboard. It's a little hotkey there, and you can see my character switching between the pistol and the sword, pressing W. And you'll also notice I picked up a leather cap here, but it requires level 2 to wear, so obviously I can't wear that yet, so it hasn't been able to assign that to my headpiece. Alright, so let's go and hit this plunger. Nice little special room here with some baddies come out. Now, I'm going to be in here, I'm sure there'll be a chest or something to find. Yes, there's a whole lot of gold on the ground, and you'll notice I'm just running over the gold to pick it up. I don't need to click on the gold to pick it up, but I do need to click on the chest. And this Alt to toggle names, if I hold down the Alt key, you can see everything that I can pick up in the world has come up with a name above it. So if I release Alt, you can see they're just sitting there. If I mouse over, I can see the names. So when you click on something, so if I click this health potion, he'll run over and he'll pick up that health potion. I can also, if I'm pressing the Alt key, if I click on the word mana potion, he's going to go and pick that up. So it's nice to hold down the Alt key and actually go and click on all the names. It's a lot easier to pick up the items. And I've just picked up that was a pair of gloves, I think it was, and it's a magical item. So it's just told me there that it's a magical item that's unidentified, and I need to identify it before I can use it. So let's have a quick look at that before we move on. So here we go. There's 2 unidentified items, and again, they've not been assigned to their appropriate slots because you can't use them until you identify them. So to do that, you need identify scrolls, and I've got 3 of them already. So how you use the identify scrolls is you right click the scroll, and you see a question mark has come up with the hand, and I can then left click on the item I wish to identify, and it will identify it. So there you can see now it's 2 armor with an empty socket and +1 defense attribute bonus, so I'm going to wear those. Now the bow, let's identify that. I'm going to switch to my ranged weapon slot. Now you can compare, the really nice way that the interface works here. If you mouse over your weapon in your inventory, it will bring up in the little box on the left what you have assigned already, so you can easily compare the weapon in your inventory to what you have equipped, so you can see whether it's worth equipping or not. And a nice easy way to equip the weapon is to right click it, and it will automatically equip it into a weapon slot. So you can see here I'm right clicking on the gun and the bow, and it's switching between both. Okay, I'm going to leave the pistol there because it does extra DPS. I'm not really worried too much about the range DPS at the moment, because this guy is going to be a melee character primarily. So we're not too fussed about the ranged weapons at this stage. Alright, so let's carry on. I want to just clear out a few little areas here. And you see there's a nice shiny object here. I ran past it before and it's in orange, which means it's something special. So let's pick that up. And I've completed a quest. So the Gleaming Ember. If I bring up my quest log, see here, Gleaming Ember is complete. And it's a good idea once you've completed those items to head back to town by, I've just pressed 0 there to open a town portal scroll, which has opened a portal for me. Teleports me back to town and I can turn in that quest to the quest giver, which in this case was, I can't remember his name now, this guy over on the right, Vassman, that's him. So you see the question mark here is now turned gold, that means I've completed it. So if I left click him, he's very happy. We found the Gleaming Ember. So if we OK that, he's going to give me some gold, some experience, and I'm also going to get a very swift Chaos Gem. And by earning that XP, I've leveled up as well. The reason I said it's a good idea to turn in those quests as soon as you complete them, because with these side quests, these guys will generally have another one to give you straight away. And let's have a look at what this one is. Okay, so I need to find some Deathlace Ember in the Necropolis. And again, gold, experience, fame, and some a map as a reward. So we'll accept that. Now, the reason I say to turn it in and to get the new quest straight away, if I had completed that first quest of the Gleaming Ember and carried on through the dungeons past the Necropolis, he wouldn't have been able to give me this quest to find the Deathlace Ember in the Necropolis. So it means I would have missed out on 3,000 experience, and because I'm going to be passing through the Necropolis anyway, you may as well go in and turn in the quests and pick up the new ones as you go. And there's also a Trillbot Bard over here, a robotic bard, who gives you side quests to do as well. So there's these two guys, Vassman and Trillbot, will always give you some extra quests to do. So it's a good idea to go in, turn those ones in, and pick up new quests as you play through. Now I know I've leveled up, but I'm going to leave that for the next video. I think this one's long enough. I want to try and keep these videos to under 20 minutes each. I think that's a really good time for the YouTube videos. Personally, I watch a few. There's a few guys that I've subscribed to that do a few gaming videos that I quite like watching, Minecraft videos in particular, and they keep their videos to around 20 minutes, which suits me because I watch them in my lunch break, so I can, it gives me enough time in my half-hour break to get some lunch, have a bit of a break, and to watch a bit of a gaming video. It gets me out of my regular work, a bit of a break from the regular stuff. So I'm going to try and follow that trend and keep these to under 20 minutes. So please leave me some comments. I hope you enjoyed watching this, and if you have enjoyed, stay tuned for more because there's going to be some more coming. All right, thanks guys, we'll catch you next time.